Let's take a look at a video camera. This follows on from the previous video where we looked at a JVC portable VCR and took it apart. This is one of the video cameras from the same era or range that would have gone with that VCR. This is a JVC color video camera model GX-44E. I think the E is meaning this is the PAL version. It's 12 volts, 5.9 watts. And so usually you'd get a cable, plug it into there, and then the other end of the cable would go into your portable VCR, either the JVC one we looked at, or other brands into the camera connector, and then your VCR would record the video signal coming out of the video camera, because this is before camcorders where the recorder and the camera were in one unit. The other way is you get an AC adapter like this, and that has the camera connector on it, and then video and audio output connectors, and it powers the camera. So that's another way of using it. I would like to we're going to take it apart because I want to see what's going on inside there, but I also want to try it first. But the cable, problem with the cable is it's turned to mush, and it's been in this bag for a long time because of that, because touching it is not a very fun experience. There's another one in there for another camera that's even worse in another bag, and that's just fully filled up with juice in there. We might brave that a little bit, like pull the ends of the cable out and get them plugged in here just to see if this thing turns on, and then we'll quickly put them back in the bag before anything bad comes out. So we'll set up this. This is Japan. Japanese AC adapter, yeah, 100 volts. You've got to turn it up to 100 volts. You can't put it on 120 volts because it will likely saturate the transformer. It's rated for 100 volts. It's really important to run your Japanese stuff on 100 volts, not 120 volts. Otherwise you're going to blow it up. Okay, so that's good. And then as we saw this unit in a previous video, someone already had a go at it and ruined the connectors, unfortunately. But it's still, the video output has been changed to an RCA plug. Presumably it used to be a BNC and they didn't like that for some reason. So we'll use this adapter. We can hook that up. And then, touching this thing, I'm going to be bringing the grossness out. But the insulation itself might be a fine now, because I think all its oil has come out and it's turned into this really solid thing. And that green stuff there, I was sick earlier so I didn't do a video at the usual time. So now some days later. That green stuff I think is coming out of the inner cores of the cable. So this is just a regular kind of DIN plug, but with a rotating cuff sleeve thing so it can lock in place. Now this is one's the dodgy bit. Getting this piece out. So that seems to be where most of the green stuff is coming out. That end. Hopefully it's not going to ruin the socket on this too much. Presumably there's some kind of on-off switch on the camera. Or is this going now? I don't think there was. We haven't really explored the camera yet. Oh no, it is going. It's going. Look, there's stuff happening on there. Why isn't there a video signal coming out though? Unless this is too wonky. It's definitely the one that should have the video. I don't know. But in there is somewhat a picture that represents what the camera is pointing at. It's very pulsy, shaky and blurry, but it does exist. It's definitely on its last legs. Yeah, the legs are running out and it's on its last ones. Alright. I don't know why the output, one of the legs that it no longer has is to do with video output maybe? I don't know. Anyway, that's that. I want to get this put away so I have to deal with this gross stuff. I'll save that because there is another camera to look at which also uses the same connector, which we'll look at a bit later on. But this time we're going to take this apart, but I'm going to have to close the blind because the light is getting messed up. Yeah, we've got a video camera and it's got a pistol grip, so it's styled like a cine camera. Looks like a cine camera, the type that you put 8mm film into. And so there's a microphone input, there's some manual controls, zoom, focus, you do it yourself by turning that. It's got a gauge, a scale on there to show you the focal distance. It's got an indoor-outdoor filter thing, that thing, which I guess is bright light or not so bright maybe. That will be a color filter for the color temperature, because I think that is like a ND filter kind of thing for when you're outside or not. Iris control and manual or auto or backlight compensated. And it will crank it up a bit more so that the subject isn't in the darkness when the background is bright. White balance control, setting it to a standard position and then adjusting, presumably by pointing at something white. That's it. There's a viewfinder, some kind of CRT, which we've probably charged up nicely, and now we're going to touch it. Pistol grip comes off. See, there's tripod threads in the bottom of the handle, but that also comes off, and I think that is also a tripod thread. Yeah. And you see, this looks really gross. It's because the whole thing was completely sticky to touch. It was horrible, and it needed some very severe wiping down to get rid of the gross stuff that was stuck all over it. I wonder if the internals will also reflect the grossness that it had on the outside. You see, there's a little plate thing where you can mount a light maybe, or some kind of microphone. Just type screws up. It's number 1 JIS's probably. Yeah. Presumably that would have to come off. I don't think I've ever looked inside this thing, so it's a new adventure. Presumably 2 halves. I think that top bit is a strip that holds the 2 halves together. Maybe? There is some adjustments. Oh, brightness and contrast for the viewfinder, I think. I think that pad thing has to come off, and look at that. That was cracked. These screws are really rusty, so they must have been moist at some point. Yeah, so that's, I just noticed that. See, it used to have the brand names and model number and thing there, but that all got rubbed off when trying to clean the stickiness off of it. Everything is old and degrading, returning to its original form. The heatsink there on the back. Some power regulator, presumably. Oh, look, there's surface mount parts in there even. Now what's happening here? Oh yeah, look at that. That pushes over. Oh, and unhooks some little hooks. Ah, now there's more screws here. Yeah, microphone on the front there. Little grill that covers that up. Now, I think the covers should come off now. Oh yeah, look at that microphone. They got yoinked around a bit. Oh, someone's written some notes there. Wow, the boards are interesting. We have to take that knob off. Oh, is that screwed on? Yeah, it's actually, the knob has screw holding it on. Interesting. Wow, what an interesting beast. A flexible board goes around the bottom. This is very state-of-the-art compact camera. Presumably they're double-sided throw-plated boards. This thing would be early 80s. Trigger to stop the recording there. Seems to be lockable. Oh no, it just clicks on and off. So it says there, problem flickering and the fuse blows. Remedy, replaced load resistor. placed, not replaced, placed load resistor bypassed intermittent track. So someone's had a good go in this to work out something in there. So there's definitely some soldering's happened there. Maybe the board wasn't manufactured very well and there's a defect on it somewhere. Need to fold these boards out. That one's bent a lot. A lot? It is bent. Okay, oh, there's plastic washer on that one, but not on the others. Oh, I don't remember which one. So it has like grounding things. So I guess they didn't want it grounded on one of the sides. Yeah, they're double-sided boards. Ah, so the plate that the connector is on was only held in by the housing and not actually secured to any frame. Yes, it doesn't seem to have any frame other than there, I suppose. Well, the plate that the viewfinder is on is a frame. So here is the viewfinder. It's a CRT of like 1.5 inches, 1 inch, 1.5 inches. CRT all the way back to here. Oh, there's a switch there. I wonder if that's the polarity for the... It looks like you would access it through that. Like whether the video player is for a positive or negative start signal. Maybe there's usually a switch that does that on these types of cameras. Yeah, so the viewfinder circuit up there, high voltage cable, it seems to have some kind of bodge there, like an additional regulator. Official bodge, so it looks like those there. That's interesting. The microphone has two little red white wires coming out of it, and then it gets grafted into a shielded cable here. And then what's that other? There's 3 other wires there, an orange, a purple, and a white. Are they the ones that go to power the viewfinder? They just kind of disappear under that. Or they go to that switch, I'd say. It's just precariously located there. It's very interesting how that is just put in. Yeah, they do. Look at that. It's like just a little switch with one mounting thing used, one of its mounting ears used, and the other one's just being chopped off. So yeah, I'd say that is the VTR polarity adjuster selector. I don't know, do we put this back because it's important? I don't know, I don't really know whether this thing is worth keeping or scrapping. It's quite interesting inside, which is unexpected, although maybe it should have been expected. So the camera pickup tube is here, the connector on the end of it, and then the target on the front where the image is picked up comes up to an amplifier there, and then the signal comes out of there by the look of it into the video processing. Wow, look at that. It's a long range transistor there. That transistor, 3 wires coming off it going all the way over to here. That's crazy. Long legs, unless it needs to be thermally coupled to something. I don't know what that is. NA564 or something. Oh, it's just squished down. Is that because there's too much room taken up by this stuff? They couldn't put it in there? It all looks like factory bodges there. So those 3 wires there go to the camera cable connector. That must be the video audio out. Why does it need 3? Oh, there's a microphone input. Yeah, because I'm going to say we only need an audio and a video signal going to the connector, although it's got the microphone connector there. That has 2 of the shielded cables to it because it's a switched connector. Okay, so that one there is that's probably like the audio out of the camera, and that's the microphone in and out from the socket, and then that's the microphone from the internal microphones. There's probably audio circuit in there and pre-processing video there, and then the other shielded connector from the camera cable goes over down to there. So the actual video out, I think it was from there maybe. Yeah, it looks like it. So can we see where this load wire has been connected? Oh, it's under this tape. someone's put tape there, which is now turned to mush to insulate it. So yeah, that there looks like the load resistor that was mentioned on the label. What a crazy thing. So it's in the position there used to be a capacitor. There's a bit of other solder blobbying going on there. I guess someone with a service manual was able to work out what's going on and modify it a bit. They put a little bit of tape over it so it stays all nice and happy. So it looks like that wire there is the signal to the viewfinder. In addition to that, there are LEDs along the bottom of the viewfinder for like white balance, whether it's recording or not, and probably when it's too dark. It looks like those come off there. So it's just 2 wires and then a shielded signal and a ground for the viewfinder. Yep, and according to that connector, the 2 center ones are the same, so they're both ground. So that means that it's just power and video, the only things that go to that viewfinder, and it looks like the circuit board is ruined by leaking capacitors. It's got crusty stuff coming through the solder connections that are turning into mush. So that's wonderful. It's just what you need. Anode connection there for the high voltage coming out of a transformer there on the end. Generate the different voltages for the CRT. Yes, and this heatsink at the back. There is a green like TO220 device there clamped down onto it. So that will be some sort of power regulator. It probably makes a 9 volts or something like that that runs the electronics. I'm finding these boards very interesting. It's very unusual to find such old through-hole double-sided plated boards. And they're not that weird type like we saw in some of those other machines. It was the JVC portable, didn't it? It had that weird type of through-hole plating where they'd use doubled up wires because they knew how unreliable they are. Great, perhaps we'll just put this back together since we didn't need to destroy it in the process of this. The lens is just a lens as you expect a lens to be, and there's not going to be much. Those wires there, we go into the iris servo motor thing. There's quite a lot of them. Might have some in-stop sensors or something. Oh, it probably also senses these. It knows what position you have these in, so it can do the white balance accordingly. SIP style ICs, probably op amps. There's one TI chip there. Let's see, is there a recognizable date code on this? No. Bit strange. Thought there would be a date code we could find out. So it looks like is it just a for the high voltage for the tube, pickup tube, is that? This transformer there, then like a voltage doublery type thing there, and that little narrow white box. There's also something happening inside that little box there. Maybe that's a switch mode power supply for running the various things. Great, that's a interesting look, more interesting than I was expecting look in this video camera, and I think we'll try to put it back together because all you have to do is that basically. Just squeeze those things together and hope for the best. So it's got, yeah, a row of resistors in parallel with resistors. Not sure what that's all about. Look at it. Some special tuned aerial thing. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, hopefully that noise wasn't it breaking. What a wonderful unit. It's such a nice design, all compact and good. And then we just put these back on. Oh, we have to make sure that is under there. Oh, that's annoying. Shouldn't have put that knob on yet. Too eager. Oh well. Ugh. What was that? Big pile of crust has come out of it. The microphone somehow needs to line up with that. It's all crusty. Sort of worked, sort of crustified. Oh, no, hang on. Oh no, that's right. That thing there, it's like sort of under a screw, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, that's just sort of peeling apart. That's what happens with old stuff, isn't it? Then this thing sort of clamps it all down, or clamps the sides together. Another screw. And then this top piece goes that way. Oh yeah, that little switch is visible in there. Yeah, for changing the polarity. That's a little flathead screw with no thread lead in, and yeah, being a flathead, does not center on a screwdriver at all. There you go. Put the handle back on. Oh, it's the handle that holds that bit of the housing back together, isn't it? There you go. A nice quick little look inside this JVC GX-44 color video camera. That sort of worked, not really. For some reason there was no video out. But we got to see what's inside, and it was interesting. So stay tuned for the next one, and we'll look in another video camera.